Hello everybody, my name is Xander Leva and I go to Odessa College. I'm in the OSHA technology program and today we're going to talk about workplace ergonomics. First off, we'll start off by saying what is ergonomics. Ergonomics is an applied science concerned with designing and arranging things people use so that the people and things interact most efficiently and safely. Basically working in comfort, having your work comfort, your desk, your work up close to you, and stuff like that. Next, when you don't work in comfort, you cause musculoskeletal disorders, or MSDs, which are referred to. These injuries and disorders that affect human body movements or musculoskeletal system include muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves, discs, blood vessels, and etc. Common MSDs include carpal tunnel syndrome, tendonitis, muscle and tendon strains. First off, we'll talk about the top 5 MSDs that cause this. First off is exerting force. Exerting force is when you are applying force to an object or a tool, which is gripping or something. Here I have an example of a screwdriver that is too small for my hand, so if I try to use force on it, it might cause more damage than anything. Since it's so small and don't fit my hand, it's not gonna work right, and if I exert force on it, it's gonna cause stress on my skin. So again, you want to have the right tool to fit your work. When lifting, you want to get a good and firm grip on what you are carrying. And we have an example of this man right here carrying some bottles, and he got some good firm grip on it, just right. So next off, work process improvements such as using carts and dollies to reduce lifting and carrying demands, sliding objects instead of carrying or lifting, and eliminating any reaching obstruction to reduce the leverage. So we have here a man, he has a bunch of stuff, but he's using less force by pushing it with something that has wheels. So again, you want to make your job easier and make it safer actually by just pushing all that stuff that he has. Next off, workers should be trained to use proper lifting and work techniques to reduce force requirements. Here are the 10 steps to safe lifting. You want to access the load, get close to the load, set your feet apart for balance so you have a good handle on it. Relax your knees, lower your body part, lower your head, get a firm grip, and then lift and straighten your legs. Before you turn, you want to turn your feet before you start walking. So that's the proper way to lift, and workers should be taught on this because this is very important, and without knowing how to lift, a lot of back problems can be caused. So knowledge is key, and if we are not explaining this very safely, people will get hurt. Next off, using mechanical assist, counterbalance beams, systems, adjustable height, lift tables and workstations, powered equipment, and ergonomic tools will reduce work effort and muscle exertion. So again, if you have these tools to make your job easier, use them. That's what they're for. As technology is growing, the work that has to be done is minimal, so why overwork yourself? So again, we got repetitive tasks. That's another MSD that happens. Repetitive movements are especially hazardous when they involve the same joints and muscle groups over and over. And when we do the same motion too often, too quickly, and for too long, we can get hurt. Many of us don't see it, so if you do happen to see it, you might catch yourself. Just try not to do many things at the same time for too long. Excessive repetition of movements that can irritate tendons and increase pressure on nerves. An example of this would be picking up trash from the floor constantly or reaching for things on the floor repetitively. This can cause stress on the lower back from repetitively bending down to reach for something. If you are going to reach for something, make it easier on yourself. Try kneeling down or bending down. Do not cause more stress on your back than needed. So next off, we got a jog is considered highly repetitive. The cycle time is 30 seconds or less. So if you are doing something for more than 30 seconds, it's considered repetitive. And workers should be trained on proper work techniques and encouraged to accept their responsibilities for MSD prevention. You, the worker, are going to be the only one who can prevent this. So if trained properly, you are going to be the one preventing it, not us. Workers can rotate between workstations and tasks to avoid prolonged periods of performing a single task, thereby reducing fatigue that can lead to an MSD. Next, we got implement rest or stretch breaks to provide an opportunity for increased circulation needed for recovery. If you feel the need to stretch, take time to do so. It doesn't take long, and it will give you a chance to recover from whatever it is that might be hurting or strain on your back or whatever. Sitting down for too long, not doing nothing, will still require time to stretch. So even though you are not doing nothing, you still need to get up and stretch. So take time to do so in that in your workplace if you have time. Next, we got awkward positions. Risk of an MSD is increased when joints are worked outside of this mid-range repetitively or for sustained periods of time without adequate recovery time. So if you're laying down in the wrong position or so, say your arm falls asleep, that's because you're in an awkward position and it's cutting off blood circulation to that muscle or tendons. And next, awkward postures refer to positions of the body, limbs, joints, backs that deviate significantly from neutral position while jobs are being performed. So repeatedly performing tasks in such positions possess increased stress on the joints or spinal disc. Proper ergonomic tools should be utilized that allow workers to maintain optimal joint positions. Work procedures that consider and reduce awkward postures should be implemented. In addition, workers should be trained properly on work technique and encouraged to accept their responsibility to use their body properly and to avoid awkward postures whenever possible. So your workers should be trained and they should know what is right and what is wrong. Right here we have the right position, the wrong, and then we have the right and the wrong. So as long as workers are trained, they should know what is going on, and as long as they do that, they should be preventing themselves from having any MSDs. Next, we got implement rest or stretch breaks. Again, provide an opportunity to counteract any repeated or sustained awkward postures and allow for adequate recovery time. So if you're doing something too long, you get tired, you're going to want to rest or something, take time and take a stretch break. So again, stretch breaks are important when working long hours. We all work long hours and we need time to stretch, take a break. So again, you are required by law to take 2 15-minute work breaks. So you should be able to take time and stretch and relax your body within those 2 15 minutes. Next, we got localized pressure. Vibration syndrome has adverse circulatory and neural effects in the fingers. These signs and symptoms include numbness, pain, and blanching, turning pale or ashen. Working with power tools with vibration, doing it for too long will cause stress on the body, on the skin, and it's very important to watch out for that. Next, we got, according to OSHA, contact stress results from continuous contact and rubbing between hard or sharp object surfaces and sensitive body tissues such as soft tissue of the fingers, palms, thighs, and feet. This contact creates localized pressure for a small area of the body, which can inhibit blood, nerve function, or movement, tendons, and muscles. Here we got a demonstration when using power tools. You got the poor position, and then you got the right position. You always want to keep your wrist straight when working with something with vibration and have a good firm grip on it. So again, bent wrist, wrong, straight wrist is the right way to do it when working with power tools. Next, we got risk assessment should be considered as a starting point. So again, Training is always the best way because the earlier risk is identified, the more quickly it can be addressed. So as long as we got people knowing what's going on, they'll be able to find out what's the problems before they occur. So a person cannot prevent something if he or she does not see it coming. So again, training is very important. And last, we got cold temperatures for MSDs. Cold temperatures are very dangerous and can be around winter time. It's easy to get cold quickly if you are outside in wet, windy, or cold weather. I live in West Texas and it's very windy, so again, in the cold, you might want to bundle up. Cold temperatures exposure can also happen if you spend time in a dwelling or a building that is not heated during cold weather. So again, you want to be safe and stay warm. Symptoms in the cold include the flu, frostbite, gangrene, and hypothermia. If you're at work or not at work, these symptoms still apply to you during the cold, so ergonomics is everywhere. Again, to fight these symptoms or to prevent them, you want to have proper PPE, which is well-insulated clothes. You want to have boots in case it's rainy or wet, keep your feet dry. Gloves, protect your fingers, hands, and a hat to protect the ears if it's that cold. But again, ergonomics is everywhere, and I hope y'all enjoyed my video. If there's anything I missed or anything that I might have got wrong, please let me know. Thank you for watching. Thanks.